peace, and blessings. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. And I'm back with another video. Welcome back, man. Hope everybody is enjoying their Wednesday morning. Yes, indeed, man. So, great news. Yesterday, last night rather, we didn't witness a tragedy in the country of Iran. The United States did not blow up any power lines or bridges. They met a ceasefire, y'all. They met a 2-week ceasefire. So as you know, with the current war going on in Iran with the United States and Israel, President Trump gave them a deadline to make a deal. He gave Iran a deadline, 48 hours. Like, I'm sick of playing with y'all. And the deadline fell on Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We didn't know we was going to see fireworks or not, right? But luckily, with the involvement of some of the other countries that are mutual in this situation in the Middle East, in the Gulf states, Pakistan primarily, negotiated with the United States and Iran to come up with this 2-week ceasefire. The president of the United States, President Trump, is saying open up the Strait of Hormuz, where they get what I think majority of the people in countries in the Middle East and Asia in that area get majority of their, or a large percentage of their oil from, is in that strait, in those islands over there. And just so happened that Iran is sitting right there, where the strait is, the Strait of Hormuz. And they would, Iran was using that they closed the strait as leverage against the United States. Like, hey, if y'all keep bombing us, we're going to keep the strait. Now, what that does is the reason why gas prices are and energy costs are soaring, especially in that region, because, ships can't get in and out to get their energy. The whole world depends on oil for everything, not just for gasoline, but, to warm and cool our homes and, just energy the smallest thing you could think of, when you plug in your socket at home so you could, toast some bread, or to plug the microwave in, or plug in some hair clippers. Everything you need is based on energy. So with the limited amount of energy, by them closing that Strait of Hormuz, cut off a large percent of the world, and all the prices had to go up because the oil was significantly decreased, the availability of it. So President Trump, that was his main issue, is to open up the Strait of Hormuz. And I think that Iran was basically like, hey, if we do that, you got to stop bombing us. You know what I'm saying? And the president, with the help of Pakistan and Iran, came to a 2-week ceasefire. Now, that is crazy because, President Trump came under a whole lot of fire, from Republicans and Democrats from all over the world. They said, man, when that man came out with that post on Truth Media or whatever platform that was, where he was talking about you effing bastards, I'm about to blow y'all away at 8 p.m. And all praises due to Allah. They like, man, he done lost his mind. Trump is, man, he done got senile. He talking about blowing up people, power lines. That's civilians and all this. They said we can't believe the president would even say something like that. We can't. He threatening war crimes. I mean, that's all you kept hearing was war crimes, right? Not to mention that Iran, that's all they do is war crimes. You know, they unalive 35,000 of their own citizens. You know, that were just peacefully protesting. That's a huge war crime, right? But he was talking about, I mean, if you look at Ukraine and Russia, that's all they do. For 3 years has been bombing each other power lines and bridges and stuff like that. They've been doing that for 3 years. What y'all ain't talking about no war crimes over there. That's what happens in war. Unfortunately, and make no mistake, don't nobody really care about no war crimes. Ain't no rules to war. You know what I'm saying? Who get prosecuted for a war crime? Ain't no rules to war. Now, you're not supposed to target civilians, and I'm not gonna lie. Trump had me fooled. I'm like, man, he sound crazy. I don't know about this, man. But all of that was propaganda. All of that was a finesse. All of that was obviously, you know, leverage against Iran. You know, that was something he was putting out there because by everybody saying Trump crazy, they like, well, he might just do it. He might just push that red button on them people. And what did Iran do? They sat up there, and this a war crime in itself. By them threatening to blow up the power lines, what did Iran do? They gather all the women and children that they could find to circle around the power plant. Like, you using these women and children in Iran as a human shield. What kind of government would use women and children as a human shield, not knowing what can happen? That lets you know these people are unhinged. Right? Because what if Trump really did blow up the power lines and unalive all these women and children? You don't know what this man gonna do. Just to put them in that predicament lets you know the mentality of who. So when you dealing with a people like this, when you in war with it, trying to negotiate with people that throw homosexuals over a bridge. I seen a clip of a grown man over there having a ceremony where he got married to an 8-year-old little girl. This man had to be about 30, 40 years old with a long beard and all that. And they sent up there, had a ceremony where a wedding, a celebration. This basically PDF file marrying an 8-year-old child and nobody there, everybody smiling like they live in a totally different world. Like they actually celebrating this. So when you negotiating with people like this, that you know, they live a totally different way. This regime, and sometimes, yeah, your rhetoric is gonna have to be harsh. But they was talking about the 25th Amendment and getting Trump removed out of office. I even seen Alex Jones, a huge supporter of Donald Trump, talk about, man, we just need to throw a garbage. He's crazy. We need to throw a garbage bag over his head, let him keep thinking he the president, and let JD Vance take over. I'm like, what? Y'all talk about kidnapping the president and putting him somewhere, making him, you know, how you gonna do that? And making him feel like you still the president, just relax. They thought this man was that crazy that he needed to be tied up somewhere where he, you know, couldn't make no decisions and let JD Vance. Y'all think JD Vance was gonna go for that? This man knew what he was doing, man. He wasn't. I'm like, but he had the whole world fooled, right? Had the whole world thinking like, man, he finna nuke the power lines and just destroy all these power lines and bridges, which would ultimately, have a lot of people, a lot of loss of life, a lot of. It would have been so tragic that soon as Donald Trump got out of office, he was gonna go to jail if he did that. He was gonna be under the jail. If they didn't have him removed immediately, if he served out the rest of his time as president, he would have been in jail. It would have started World War III. You think China and Russia would have sat back and watched that and didn't do nothing? All them women and children out there, nah, that would have changed the game. Trump couldn't do that. And the closer it got to the time, I'm like, that man ain't finna. I said it in my last video. I wouldn't do that. I would just sit up there and look at these people. They put these women and children in danger, not knowing what's gonna happen. And to be honest with you, Trump is a genius, man, because over this last 4 to 6 week military campaign, he has literally took out their Navy, took out their Air Force. They said that they have obliterated over 12,000 of their military bases. Iran is done. Military, they are no longer a threat like that. No, they still got their little missiles and stuff like that. But for the most part, only thing they can do is shoot missiles at people. They don't have nowhere near the capability that they had 2 months ago, bro. Like they have to play ball at this point. All the leadership, they took out waves of leadership. You got the first Ayatollah. Then they had the second one. They took out like 3 chains of leadership. They're the regime. I'm surprised they still even have control over Iran right now. Whoever they negotiating with is hiding. They don't want to show their face. So what Trump did is something that every president since Jimmy Carter wanted to do. Is go in and basically defang Iran, take away their ability to create terrorism. Iran is like the Dennis the Menace of the entire world. It seemed like majority of the terrorism in the Middle East is created by the regime in Iran. All of those other nations, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, all of our, Kuwait, all of our allies, in which they did a great job by assisting with the United States military, except for Kuwait, they made a mistake. They accidentally, hit some of our our planes because they didn't know how to use the equipment. So, but it was a mistake. I think it was some little, misunderstanding with that. But for the most part, the Gulf states in the Middle East, they showed more loyalty to the United States than NATO, than the European nations. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine this, man. You had France, you had the UK, you had Spain, you had Germany. They all in NATO. They didn't want to help the president. President hit them up like, hey, can we use our Air Force? To stage our planes and refuel and, when we running low on fuel and stuff like that. These are bases that we paid for. in their country. And they told the president no. We have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of our United States troops in almost each of these countries to help protect them from Russia. They scared of Putin. We not scared of Putin. The only reason Putin ain't going crazy on the rest of Europe is because of the United States. We in NATO, our military is the reason why they are safe. And you mean to tell me you gonna tell the United States we not gonna get involved? Now, we not asking y'all to get involved in, on a military aspect. Trump asked these nations the Strait of Hormuz, where y'all get y'all energy from, to come secure that while we take care of business militarily with Iran. Because we trying to go ahead and get this under control, wrap this campaign up. This where y'all get y'all oil from. We got the coast is clear. We the ones that's gonna be us and Israel is the one that's out here fighting. We not asking y'all to fight. We asking y'all to come secure your own oil. We get less than 7% oil from here. Y'all get what? More than 50% of y'all energy from here? And they say, no, this is not our fight. What's that? I think that was France, and particularly said, we'll come when y'all win, when it's over with. What? Do y'all know we provide over 70% of the funding in NATO? Just the United States. We pay 70% of the cost of NATO. We provide over 70% of the military force in NATO. And you mean to tell me we can't get you to come secure your own oil energy source while we go handle business militarily? Unbelievable. Now that, like I said, and that's NATO. And Trump said, and Marco Rubio, they like, man, why are we even in NATO at this point? We look out for them, but when it comes a situation where we need them, which we really didn't need them, it was a test to see what they would do, because we got it under control, obviously. But when we need some backup to basically help y'all secure y'all own energy source, y'all like, nah, this ain't our war. Man, listen, NATO spoiled. We didn't let these countries, see, that's why I rock with Trump. We didn't let these other nations run over us. People don't understand. We're a very generous nation. People like to say, oh, we so bad, but we do so much for other people, countries, because we don't see it, but to them, we are a very prosperous nation, the most powerful nation in the world. So they just expect us to do and carry the weight for everybody else. But it gets to a point where this is a one way, this is a one-sided relationship. Why are we spending all these big? I mean, and that's the thing I got. Like, we spending all these billions of dollars for something that doesn't benefit us when we need them. Why don't we take them billions of dollars we get in NATO and invest it into the American people? Because obviously they ain't got our back. It took Pakistan. To come in and negotiate. It took Qatar. It took Saudi Arabia to help us set up shop in their countries with their military bases. They not in NATO. These are just our Middle Eastern allies to step up to the plate. Europe then got soft. This ain't the Britain of back in the 1900s. This ain't that. France and Spain and all them, they soft. They done got soft. They done let all these illegal immigrants into their countries, and they watered down now. So the United States, man, luckily we got a president that stand on business. Like, man, nah, y'all ain't gonna keep taking. Listen, we gonna have to renegotiate something or something, because this gonna change everything. Now that we have it under control, they look even crazier. And make no mistake, our adversaries, Russia and China, they get a lot of their energy, especially China, through the Strait of Hormuz as well. They allied with Iran, right? So if we wanted to be bogus, we could have just went in and did what Trump said and just obliterated them with bombs and took over the oil. We could have did that. Now, that would force China to have to work and Russia to have to work directly with us controlling their energy source. So make no mistake, when it comes down to making a deal, China is in Russia, they telling Iran, man, you better make this deal because we can't afford for y'all to lose this war, and now the United States is controlling our energy source. Yeah, y'all. So this was masterfully done on the military level. And man, let me show you the difference in the heart and the integrity. We went to the ends of the earth to save one soldier that got blew down in an airplane over there in Iran. Hundreds of United States soldiers put on a trifecta. You know, they went down there and, saved this one soldier. We went to the ends of the earth for one soldier. No man left behind. My last video, if you didn't see it, go check it out. I'll break it down. One soldier. One man. No man left behind. We went to the ends of the earth to rescue this man out of a mountain. Built the aircraft on the ground and everything. But Iran would put women and children on front of power plants, not knowing if they're going to get blown away. That's the difference. That's the difference. We went to the ends of the earth to save one soldier. They put women and children as human shields. Cowards, if you ask me. Because, what man going to endanger the life of a woman or a child just to prove a point? That right there lets you know who you're dealing with. That's why Trump had the language that he had, because that's the only thing them people like that understand. And sometimes you got to take the hits. Trump, he just one of them people that he could take the criticism and the whole world against you. They not understanding why you going so crazy, and you just, hey, he's a master at negotiations. I mean, before politics, he was a real estate business tycoon. He do this. He got a book called The Art of the Deal. Now, this on its surface, oh yeah, it's about the Strait of Hormuz. It's about the nuclear weapons. Trump don't want them to have this, that. Listen, I'm happy that we got this ceasefire for 2 weeks, but I'm hoping that it lasts longer than 2 weeks. I'm hoping that they actually, first of all, let's see if it be a ceasefire between Israel and Iran for 2 weeks. That we got to see. But nevertheless, if it is a little fire here and there, it ain't worth it to get back and fully engaged in it. If we can sustain 2 weeks, I think China and Russia is going to be pivotal in convincing Iran to just go ahead and just make the deal, because it's too risky for them. After you see what we did to y'all for these last 6 weeks, let's just go ahead, make this deal, and y'all, no nuclear weapons. You got to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. Just it been on, it been up, and it been stuck for 47 years with Iran. We tired of the threats. We tired of our people, being unalived and hostages, and they constantly they using Hezbollah and the Houthis to blow at our ships and all this nonsense that been going on for nearly 50 years since 1979. We tired of it. If we can neutralize all that, live in peace, let's get to this money and possibly, come to a deal, maybe even be allies again. Trump will go down as the GOAT if he can make this happen. I'm sorry. Going into the midterms is looking ugly right now. The economy is horrible due to this war. But we was on the right track till this 6 weeks ago kicked off. If he is able to neutralize the threat in Iran and then hurry up and bounce the economy back and even better, then hey, he gonna be goated. Trump gonna be goated. He gonna be goated, man. So it ain't no forever war, like they were saying. Now keep in mind, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, this is deeper than what scratches the surface. It's more about the petrodollar. Remember that, petrodollar. See, Iran, Russia, China, Venezuela, watch the moves. All of them are allies, and they are working together to try to go around using the American dollar for energy. They trying to use a different firm or create a new form of currency so that would destroy the American way of life, the westernized way of life, the petrodollar. That's what this is more about. That Strait of Hormuz, who controls it, and how they have to exchange their money. If you bypass the United States dollar, our total economy will collapse. What Trump is doing, what he has done in Iran, this is going to be beneficial for the United States for the next 50, 60 to 100 years as far as us maintaining power in the world. Power and control. That's what this is about. I talked about that on another video. I'm gonna address that some more. But for now, the United States and Iran, with the help of Pakistan, has came up with a 2-week ceasefire, praying that it goes all the way through. I got to get back to work. So, hey, man, appreciate y'all. Hope y'all got something from this video. It's your boy Jay Taylor, Voices for the Voiceless. We love y'all. And until next time, we should see you soon. Peace and blessings.